Hello everyone, this is Rachel here from the Shades of Orange, today to do a spoiler-free review of The Yellow Hoods by Adam Dreece. If that author name rings a bell, it's because he wrote one of my favorite books of 2016, and that was The Wizard Killer Season 1. This is a serialized fantasy set in a post-apocalyptic world, and it was just a ton of fun, super fast-paced, and the sequel, Season 2, is coming out in April, and I am so excited to get my hands on it. I'm really looking forward to that one. I cannot recommend this one enough. It's really worth picking up. I believe it's only 99 cents right now, so I'm going to put some links down below because seriously, more people need to read this one. However, I'm actually here to talk about a different series of his, and that is the Yellow Hood series. This is a young adult steampunk fantasy series that has fairy tale elements. It's a bit of a departure from the books I normally read on this channel. I decided to try this out because I loved his other book and wanted to see what that series is all about. As a disclaimer, I did receive e-copies of these books from the author in exchange for an honest review. As always, my opinions are completely my own. There are currently 4 published books, with the 5th one on the way. It's coming out on April 7th, as well as a novella in the series. The first book is called Along Came a Wolf, then Breadcrumb Trail, then All the King's Men. The 4th is Beauties of the Beast, and the 5th is The Day the Sky Fell. There's also a novella called Snappy and Dashing, which gives you just a little bit more time in the world. So just to give you a really brief synopsis, the story surrounds young adventurers that call themselves the Yellow Hoods. Within this world, technology is really starting to take off, and there are some secret societies that are vying for that technology and control over the lands. It's a good mix of politics, adventure, and is very heavily focused on character development, which is my personal favorite part about this series. Now, I want to very cautiously compare this book to the way that the Harry Potter books are formatted. I'm not saying that this is the next Harry Potter just because that is the marketing kiss of death. Instead, this book series really stands on its own. But what I want to say is that this is a similar idea where the first book almost has a bit of a middle grade feel, where the characters are quite young. They're, I believe, only about 9 years old in the first book, and they grow up throughout the series so that they are teenagers by the later books. And with that, the characters grow, as well as the plot and the tone of the story all grow and become darker with each book. This is a series where it's not enough just to read book 1. If you want an honest taste of the book series, you really need to read at least up to book 2 in order to fully grasp where the author is taking this series. I see book 1 as a foundational story, but from there, the series really takes off in book 2, and that's when I got super hooked in, because at that point, the story was so much larger and more exciting, and that's where I compare it to Harry Potter, that each book really builds and crossover from being just a YA book to a book that's going to have wider appeal to an adult audience as well. And that was certainly the case for me. In terms of writing, as always, Adam Dreece has a very clean, easy writing style that is just super readable and enjoyable to get into. There is a lot of humor built into this book. It's definitely funnier than a lot of the books I tend to pick up and read. There are so many puns in it and one-liners, and the character names are super goofy. There's a couple that is basically called Eggs and Bacon, and the series is full of little nods and winks along the way to fairy tales and other things that kind of will break the fourth wall in the best possible way. So I really encourage people to pick it up that are looking for those funny nods in books that tend to pop up in these kind of humorous, cute fantasy stories, but this book at the same time offers a lot of depth, which I really appreciate. The characters were the biggest draw for me in this series. I became very attached to not only the Yellow Hoods, but the other characters throughout this series. There were some fantastic moments of development, some great conversations that really hit home. I really appreciate the author including several elements of diversity within his books. There is a lesbian character, a character with physical disabilities, as well as several ethnicities predominantly featured in these books. And I'm just thankful that these kind of books exist today for younger readers so that they can see themselves on the page. I thought it was very well done in a natural way. So those are my thoughts on the Yellow Hood series by Adam Dreece. I'll let you know that there's currently a promo running. So if you are interested in trying them out, you can get the first 3 books as ebooks for only 99 cents, just because it's a really good deal. And again, I feel that it's a series that It's not enough just to read book 1, but you really have to read a couple of the books because the story really takes off in book 2 and 3, so you got to give yourself a chance to get into the story and really see what it's all about for yourself. In no ways, there's no affiliate links, anything like that. I just honestly want to support an indie Canadian author who I think needs a little more attention, and I'd love to see more people picking up his books. I just highly recommend this series to people who enjoy young adult literature. It's a lot of fun. The 5th and final book is coming out on April 7th, and it's my personal favorite in the series, so I'm very excited about that. If you happen to live in Calgary, Alberta, I highly recommend going to the book launch on April 9th. I wish I was there, but if you can go and tell me all about it, that would be awesome. Those are some of my thoughts. As always, leave comments and questions down below. I highly recommend you pick this up, and while you're at it, honestly, go read The Wizard Killer because more people need to read this. The ebook is very affordable, and I need to talk about this with more people before the 2nd season comes out because I'm so excited for it. Can you tell that I am obsessed with this series? Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you again soon. Alright, bye-bye.